Oh, this is one of the episodes. This is one of those new changes we're gonna do for 2024. And it's gonna be the combination of everything that embodies Black Men in Suits, Samuel Johnson. And these segments I'm gonna call Journal of a Love Jones. And so I want to start this particular one out. What the Journal of a Love Jones is going to be about is that I will be sharing with you all every month, well, particularly every month, right? Every month I will be sharing with you all some of the things that I've been through when it comes to relationships and meeting new people and dating apps, you name it. I will be sharing my experience. I decided to do this because it embodies everything Black Men in Suits is about. One of those things is that there's a lot of experiences that Black men go through that are not being talked about or discussed, hidden under the table. Some Black men are afraid to admit certain things, right? But not here. Not here. This is the place where I will be kind of sharing with you a book that I will be putting out soon called Journal of a Love Jones. And so there are going to be certain segments of the Black Men in Suits, Nation, and Uncut Truth that I will be titling Journal of a Love Jones episodes. I want to start this off. I want to start this particular one off with this one here. And once again, this is Black Men in Suits, Urban Nation, the Uncut Truth, and this is the segment of Journal of a Love Jones. So let me take you all into a more recent Journal of a Love Jones. Right now, I want to make things clear when I talk about Love Jones. You know, yo. So what's up, everybody? This is Black Men in Suits, Urban Nation, Uncut Truth, and here it's gonna be your first ever episode of Journal of a Love Jones, right? What Journal of Love Jones is going to be about, it's going to be another addition into the podcast platform. And just like many others, I'm going to essentially separate, entitle some of the topics separately. So you will be able to look at it and you see what I'm talking about, and you'll know whatever your desires are to hear for the day, you will be able to adjust it. And so in addition to the podcast of the Uncut Truth, it still underlines the Uncut Truth, but I will also be sharing what I call Journal of the Love Jones. For those of you who understand what a Love Jones is a Love Jones is a intense desire for love, respect, humility, and compassion for one another. Especially anything romantic. especially anything resolving you being with another partner or person in your life, sharing somebody in your life. And so with Journal of a Love Jones is going to be a part of my, it's going to be part of my snippet of what I am writing about. So I'm writing an ebook. It's going to be a book that's going to be available in ebook first, and then I may be able to get some hard copies of it later. But it's gonna be like a shared experience of my journey when it comes to love, life, and relationships. I think this is gonna be very important for a lot of men because we don't see a lot of this. We don't see enough of it in mainstream media. Now, but at least this could be a place that somebody or some man, some young brother may stumble upon, and they come across some of the experiences that I share, and they be like, wow, I experienced that as well. And what you're going to get out of it is that at the end, I'm going to tell you what I took out of everything. I'm going to share my particular experience, share what would happen and what went on. It's going to be uncut truth. It's going to be raw. So I put out some disclaimers right now. If you a woman that I've dealt with, been in a relationship with, been with, and if this seems to relate to you, just know. Don't take it personal, because it may not necessarily be you. Because this could be solely a generalization, but at the end of the day, for those young brothers who are listening, this is going to be my absolute truth of what I actually experienced. And then I'm going to tell you how I navigated away from that, rather than, and so my point being is that there are so many different things and scenarios that we're seeing right now out in our world where the outcome does not go as smoothly as it should, or should we say, there seems to be a lot of deadly consequences to some things that's going on. But as I share some of the journals and diaries that I went through as a black man, I think that it's going to help some young black men be able to see and listen, hear, and read certain, be able to hear certain things and read certain things that they may be able to relate to, and these could be triggers for them, or a light bulb for them to be like, you know what? Let me respond a tad bit differently than I would originally. And I'm going to share everything with you. I'm going to share my responses. I'm going to share how I initially see things depending on the timeline. And what could be and what was the potential outcome. Right? So let's dive into it. So we're going to get into the most recent thing. But again, this is Urban Nation. Black Men Choose Uncut Truth. And this episode is Journal of a Love Jones. So, of course, this is the first night, man. So let's just kick it off. Once again, a lot of these series are going to be short when I do them on the podcast, because I want you guys so that you really get a lot of in-depth details of what transpired. Just be looking out for the ebook and the physical book that I'm going to put out here this year, but I will put out the ebook first. And again, it's going to be called Journal of a Love Jones. And it's just going to be my diary, kind of like my personal diary of things I've experienced throughout my 42 years. More so, let's just say, my 22 years, right? Because, again, you can't count when you're 1 years old. You can't count when you're 2 years old. But, more so when you first started dating. And when I first started dating, and then kind of go from there. And it's going to be the book Journal of a Little Jones is going to start from there. And there's going to be more details. It's going to be way more details. But this kind of right here, what I will be doing, this segment that I will be doing on the podcast is going to be kind of mixing up the episodes a bit. Kind of mixing up the genres and mixing up what I talk about. And so that everything won't just be one-sided. And, you get a mix of a lot of things. But Journal of a Little Jones. So what I'm going to talk about tonight, right, is I'm going to start with something very much more recent. Very recent. Whew. This shit going to knock you off your feet, right? And I'm going to talk briefly about, hopefully some of this stuff, hopefully some of the things that I talk about really will help a lot of you young brothers out there. And also help some of you young sisters out there who, if you listen to this podcast, that you're able to kind of dissect the uncut truth of what men are thinking, some men, right? Not all, but what some men are thinking, and how they perceive the way you act, talk, walk, and also as well, how we sometimes personally taking things, may not be the way you see it or assume it. So now, this particular nuisance, I call it nuisance, man, just because it's a part of the journey, but it's one of those things where there was this particular young lady I thought highly regardless of. I sat back and I watched a lot of things she did. And yes, ladies, a lot of men, if they're interested in you, they sit back and they watch what you do. They don't always approach you. They don't always be in your face. They don't always be in your inbox. Now, they may be in your inbox, but they're not going to always be saying certain things. Especially a man that's truly interested in you. His approach is going to be more of a friendship base, right? Now, man, they're just trying to hit you, put you on, get what he can get out of you ASAP. Shit, he going for the gusto. Now, at this point, I should not, as a man, have to say that. That should be something that should be passed down generally, right? As a way of how I generally that we're teaching our young men, women, and children, right? But apparently we're not. And the word I was looking for was generationally, right? But I was trying to fit it into the particular sentence, and it just really, it just, it didn't flow correctly. But nonetheless, when you think about what you're being told how a man should treat you and how a woman should treat you, what's being dissected now always have to do with the aspect of money. Always seem to be that aspect of money. And if a man can do this for you financially, he deserves every essence of you. So, let me talk about this particular experience here. I'm going to give some brief details. I'm not going to dive into a lot because, again, download the book, and you hear more. You'll hear more and listen to more. But just to give you an idea of my previous experience as a love Jones, I just got through extending the grace to a young woman who have and recently, you know, kind of when I first met them, they kind of presented themselves as, I'm not gonna say a holy roly, but someone who has a lot of morals and distinctive dignity about themselves in general. They're not sleeping around. They weren't dealing with any and everybody. They had a particular desire and goal, what they want for themselves and their lives. And that's how I met them. Long story short, in the midst of me knowing them for a good period of time, they shared a lot of things with me. Now, here's where Journal of Love Jones is going to get kind of tricky. Because some of the things I'm going to share, they're going to be the uncut truth. And I think a lot of people may feel that, some people will feel that, you know, certain things shouldn't be shared, right? But this is how I feel. This is the uncut truth of it. If you did it, if you committed it, if you acted upon it, there's no shame in the game, period. It's time for the separation, for accountability and ownership of who you are, how you act, and what you do. So, that don't fly with the uncut truth at all. And so yes, so for those of you, right, if you feel that, you shouldn't have said that, you know, I'm just gonna forewarn you now. Just understand, the position I have, the position I hold, the position I carry is that if you have anything to hide, then you need to shelter yourself into that environment, that place that you do those things with, or for, or within. Because there is that place. For a while there wasn't that place, right? But now there is that place. If you are a nymphomaniac, then there's a whole place for you to put yourself in. And there's a whole subculture for nymphomaniacs. You just need to find them and put yourself in that. If you are a nudist, there's a position for that. There's a culture for that. If you are a flamboyant or an exhibitionist, there's a position for that. There's a culture for it. Even in the realm of, if you just someone where you just want to thought it out for time and time again, right? There's a position for that. There's a culture for that. But here's what is important about all of that. When you straddle the fence, of that, of any of those positions, and then you straddle the fence on the other fence, the other side of the fence that I'm referring to is the fence of modesty, the fence of integrity, the fence of, this is my moral disposition. I stand on this 100%. This is who I am. And I desire to be nothing less, nothing more. So when you straddle the fence of those things, it's important that you identify to yourself that that's what you are and what you're doing. Here's the reason. I met this young lady, and just here briefly, this is one of the most recent things. And I called it and I put this young lady in the diary of Love Jones because it was she is a young woman that I really thought highly of. And I was like, wow, as I met her, I was like, man, this is a young black woman that could be this is a young black woman that is wife material. She's a 100% wife material. Nonetheless, long story short, here recently, about 4 months back. Now, grant you, this is a young woman that we really never really had a lot of conversations with. I didn't talk to them a lot like that. It was we live in the same city, but I never seen them in person. But we would inbox each other and chat from time to time about certain dynamics and certain things that goes on and what men do and what men and women do. Again, we sharing information about how we see things in particular about what the other opposite sex doing. So, I'm gonna give you to give you a fast forward here is that present day. This particular young lady inboxed me this afternoon and asked me about she mentioned, said, hey, I thought you was gonna buy me a particular present for my birthday or for Christmas, but I never heard anything about, and you've been dishonest about that. Now, I get this information tonight. Oh wow. The particular present that I was going to get, that I have for them, is sitting in my bedroom right now. Now, so let me rewind. So as I rewind this, right? Because I know you heard me mention that I've never seen this person in person. We only communicate through social media. So once again, this is somebody that I know from just social media, period. I don't know them personally. I don't know this young woman in any kind of physical manner. Let alone now, we've had conversations about what they have done physically with other men. Multiple occasions. And so I'm sitting here, and again, the gentleman that I am, I did extend that aspect when it came to, their birthday or Christmas. Again, but that was a post. I made a post about, hey, any of you guys, y'all want something for the holidays, Christmas, your birthdays? Hey, let me know. This was in October. I was like, look, let me know. I got you. And it was kind of within the spirit of, just the spirit of giving, And they reached out to me. They inboxed me. Again, I've never seen them in person. We don't talk like that. We never been in each other's presence on any level. So, this person, they inboxed me. You really mean that? I want this, and I like this and like that. First thing they mentioned was something that was an item that was like $600. I kid you the fuck not. The first item they mentioned was an item that was like $600. Again, this is a woman who's responding to a post I made. I made a post about, hey, look, look, I feel like sharing the love, man. Hey, what y'all want? I got you. This particular individual inboxes me and tell me what they want, show me a picture of it. It's $600-700 goddamn dollars. I'm looking at it. And again, the kindness of my heart, the guy that I am. Because I know that I'm blessed and highly favored. You know, I'm like, is this what you really want? Seriously? So at the same time, I've always seen this person as being like, you know, you seem to be a very humble person. You know, you know, you don't got no drama going on. Look, but at the same time, if I take you guys back, it's going to paint another picture, right? But I'm gonna get to that in the very end. And so I'm like, okay, this is what you want, okay. Once again, this is somebody, you know, again, this is a random person. In general, they are a random. I don't know them personally. We don't talk every day, right? This person talks to me or make a response whenever I may make a post, and I never made a post that they responded to. It's always been a post that they post that I responded to, right? So this person has never been a person that was, you know, like, again, it's not a woman that's interesting to me. It's not a woman that's tagging me along. But nonetheless, this is a woman that, as a man, John Overload Jones, this is a woman as a man who sees some qualities in, and you just kind of like, hey, you know, you kind of extend that olive branch out there. Within the midst of the few months before Christmas, you know, the individual realized that the initial gift that they asked for was damn near $700. So they was kind of like, well, I get some other boots. Give me some boots. Now, again, they don't know my track record. They don't know my financial status. They don't know how I operate. They don't know how I move. So they don't know what I'm doing, period. There was just a observant suggestion that I think they came up with because they hadn't heard it in a certain particular time frame. And the reason they hadn't heard anything because they ain't said shit to me outside of our initial conversation. They ain't said, hey, how you doing? How your day going? You look beautiful today. You look good. You look handsome today. I ain't said the goddamn thing, right? But then they magically respond with, well, hey, I do like these boots as well. It's expensive. And my response was kind of like, I had already got the vanity for him, right? I got it from him off of the blessings of, you know, some other ventures, right? I got it off of blessings of other ventures, and that's because my humbleness. But me in particular, I'm like, you know, in general, I'm very giving, but I'm not tricky. You know. So what that means is I ain't your trick. Like you can't fuck me over in your same sense. Right? It'll never happen in a lifetime. I got too much experience for that. So, nonetheless, what ends up happening is that they mention, you know, Again, they never said, "Hey, cat, dog." After we talked about the initial present, but then they just threw up the other present because they never heard me say anything, right? And I wasn't gonna say anything because hey, I already gave you confirmation. Okay, well, okay, that's what you want. I got you. So I guess they expected me to hit them up like, hey, I got that for you. Woo. No, we don't do that here. We don't do that here. We don't do no chasing you down. You know, once again, let's really put in perspective of our relationship here. You are a stranger. I'm a stranger. So going forward, and they end up hitting me. They end up messaging me again, telling me about some boots. And I'm like, okay. Once again, I was blessed to have a significant, you know, I was blessed to get. I was blessed with some of the sports books again, right? I got the other additional item for them. My goal, my theory was, I'm going to surprise this person. This is something that they particularly want. I'm going to surprise them with everything they want. Everything they ask me for, I'm going to surprise them with. But then in the course of me getting these things, right? I never heard, hey, how is your day going? How are you doing today? Nothing. Nothing. Nothing for 3 months. That's some real shit. Nothing for 3 months. Nothing for 3 months. Nothing but the last conversation was, the last response that I sent to them were hey, okay, is it the black boots or do you want some brown boots? Motherfucker never responded to that question, so I got the black boots instead. So here I am. I bought this $600 goddamn vanity and a $75 black boots. And I got the black boots because they never responded to whether they wanted black or brown. I got it. Everything came into my house. I got it to my property. I kept it. Because my thing was, if I hadn't heard from you, I'm not finna try to track you down to give you this significant amount of items of gifts. This almost $800, almost $1,000 worth of gifts. But I gotta track you down and give it to you. So let me tell you, what it put me in perspective of was this whole thing that a lot of women are sitting back and really judging men. They're judging the man that they want to be with. They just no. Let me take it back. Not that they want to be with. They judge the man that they will give themselves to, based off of how much money he's willing to spend on. Let me just say that. They're judging the man about what women now, well, some women, not all, they will give their bodies to a man based off of how much money he willing to spend on. That's scary. That should be scary for all men in the world. Here's the reason why. And I knew this going forward. I knew this in general, right? I knew this kind of in general in this situation. Here's how I knew it. Because me and this person had a conversation a good organic conversation before. And they told me how this person only spent about $600 on them. They didn't know him from a can of paint. But they laid down to open their lids for them just based off the aspect that they bought them a piece of jewelry. So then, a long story short, you ask them, okay, oh man, wonderful. So where y'all at now? Are we not together? Why y'all not together? Why are you not together? What's going on? What's the issue? Shit. But the issue is they married. They got kids. They got a wife. And I'm like, so this not something that your ass wasn't thinking in the beginning? Before you lay down and open your legs? This not something that you was... This is not something that you were really dissecting before that? Before you went to this process with this person? And see, I think the thing is with people, I think that when they're telling their story, I think they think that whoever they're telling it to are just very naive, and that they're supposed to believe how every scenario that they make is a situation out to be. And let me tell you something. And this is a part of the Uncut Truth that we talk about here, the Urban Nation, is that ladies, I don't know where to start with it, but what I will say this is that a man would do anything to get in between your legs, but would never have your best interest at heart, by no means. And I think that whole sentence needs to be underlined. A man would do anything. I mean, to the point where a motherfucker sit out right in the middle of the street and pretend to give his life for you, just so that you will spread your legs. But after you spread your legs, the respect he have for you is zero. And I don't care what walk of life you came from, you're going to be taught that lesson when you play the game. You're going to be taught that lesson when you play the game. So, going back to the Love Jones aspect of it from the first person perspective. So this particular individual, you know, they emailed me today actually why they haven't heard from me. I'm like, well, they didn't say why they hadn't heard from me. What they said was, so keep in mind, I had to reach out to them, make comments on posts and Instagram posts that they made for them to realize, nigga, you never responded back to me about these goddamn boots. Boots? So what, I supposed to hunt you down about what the color boots you want? That ain't what we do here. That ain't what no grown ass man do. I'm not hunting you down. Right? However, apparently, through the mix of this all, what they did was they responded back to me finally today, January 20-something, January 29th, 28 to be exact, right? Saying that Why I haven't got the vanity from you? I haven't got I haven't got the boots from you. And I'm like, I'm sitting there reading this shit like, of course you hadn't, because you hadn't responded back to me. I asked you what color boots you wanted, that you want. You did not respond. I had to make comments in reaction to certain posts you made, and you still did not respond to the aspect of the color of the boots that you motherfucking wanted. But here we go tonight. And I guess they must be full of liquor and alcohol, and that's what I figured, right? And I try not to be, and because I'm such a compassionate person, and my studies in psychology, I automatically know what the game is. The thing is, they must have been drinking alcohol. They must be tipsy. They feeling some kind of way about, wherever they at, whatever they doing, right? They feeling some kind of way. And it's, let me try to check this motherfucker about this shit, because I ain't heard nothing said nothing. And it's like, yo, you had, and their response to me, well, and so they reach out to me and say, I haven't got the vanity that, you told me you was going to give me a vanity and such for my birthday and for Christmas. And I think that just this, that, and they add all these extra comments and words to it. It's like, and so my response is, how you know I never got this product? I got the vanity. I've been had it. I got the boots. I've been had it. But your black ass never responded to me when I asked you what color boots you wanted. But I got black instead. I've been had these items, but you never fucking responded. So guess what? I'm not finna hunt you down and tell you, again, some of this product that you asking for, everything that you asked for, everything that you said that you desired, that you wanted for your birthday cost over about $1,000. Granted, I'm a guy that you don't know. You never seen me in person. I never seen you in person. I don't know you personally. You don't know me personally. Like, we don't have any mutual friends like that. None of that. So how did you ever in your mind and your thought fixate yourself to the fact that you thought that you could just say, this what I want, to a stranger, and that stranger get it for you? Make it fucking make sense. However, even though this stranger did do it for you, but the problem here is, because see, it's, the good and the bad is that the good is you had a stranger that was blessed. A stranger that was blessed to the aspect that I could do these things on random. But the problem was, you thought that your blessing was going to come without some accountability. That, oh, I was just going to give this shit to you random and ooka-nookily for you and some other motherfucker to ride up in and shine up in. No sir, and no man. Yo, that's the Diary of a Lil Jones, man. I'm telling y'all, man, the shit is wild out here. This shit is wild. It's wicked. It's crazy. It's I don't know what these folks be thinking. And it's but I get where a lot of you are coming from, because sometimes it even be people that you don't think, you be like, yo, it ain't no way they like that. They can't be that way. They can't think that way, but they do. They be some of the people that you think are just some of the nicest people on earth, and they have some of the most fucked up ways, and they do, because they taught wrong, and they've been taught they've been taught the wrong shit, let alone, and I'm gonna tell you, and again, I'm gonna leave the rest for the book. I'm gonna leave the rest for the pages of the book, and you can read that, and I'll be more graphic and I'll be more detailed, just in the general. But just to give you guys a glimpse into how the bullshit is for a lot of us young brothers who are just really on that shit, and we just really on something genuine, and it's like, the fuck is you talking about? You know. Long story short, your sister actually months ago responded to a post I made about, hey, I give you something for your birthday, for Christmas, what you want. They gave me an item. And then they gave a stranger an item that was just way too ignorant for they named an item that was just something that you shouldn't tell a stranger to get you in the first place, right? But I got it for him anyway. But in my response, right? I was blessed to be able to get it for him, right? I was blessed in other areas of some of the things I do when I hustle, to where I was able to get it for him without it coming out of my pocket personally. But it did came out of something that I earned. And it was like, you expecting me to hunt you down to give you something that cost over $1,000? Some item you expect me to hunt you down to give you some items that cost over $1,000? The fuck out of here, man. Where they do that at? And I got these items, based off the aspect that, see, this is the thing about the Most High. Because my heart was genuine, I was able to do those things. I was able to get those things. I was able to put those things in order and process to come to my house. Because I am who I am. And I wasn't stressing myself. I wasn't putting myself in any kind of uncompromisable position or nothing like that. But I was able to do those things just out of the kindness and the greatness of my heart. And it was something they wanted, and as a generalization, as a person perspective, it would have been great for them as an individual. But yes, indeed. But the point is, when I asked them about the color of the boots they wanted, they never responded. So it took me months later to have to start responding to the posts they were making, for them to finally say, hit me up and say, you said you was gonna give me such. My reply is like, so what makes you think I never got those items? You hadn't responded to me since I asked you about the goddamn boots. So what are you talking about? But see, that's what we do. That is what some of the kind-hearted people, as men or women, are going through in this country right now when they dealing with dating. That's what some of the kind-hearted people, men or women, that's what they dealing with in this country right now. People who really take their kindness for granted. They take it with a grain of salt so far to where they expect you, because you kind-hearted, they expect you to be on their beck and call, to be hunting them down, to be doing things for them. And that's men or women. They expect you to be doing all these things for them while they sit back. While they sit back and do whatever they want to do within the world. But you're supposed to conform to who they are. And it don't work that way. And so we're going to always and forever have a extreme dysfunction within our society because of that. Right? Man, look, y'all sit back, dissect that, take it for what it's worth, And I'm telling y'all, I'm giving you the uncut truth. It's Diary of a Love Jones. This is what some of us go through. Some of us young black men, you know, hey, yeah, I'm 42, but I'm still young. But it's some of us young black men, this is what we go through. And for a lot of black men, for a lot of men, they don't know how to balance it. You know, it's important to understand. A lot of these men, when they go through these type of experiences, they don't know how to balance. See, that shit don't rattle me because I already knew. I already had the position control, right? Which is the reason why when I got those items, no, I didn't reach out to you until you responded to me about what color black boots you wanted. See, when they had, whenever, if they would have ever responded to me saying, "Well, I want the black boots," I would have responded back, "Okay, well, I got them in, sweetheart. I got everything in. I got you. Where you want me to deliver it to?" See, they never responded to none of that. They never responded to what color black boots they wanted. Because there was different sizes of those boots, right? Um, there was a brown, there was a black, but then there was different sizes. I never got the sizes. I asked them for what size or what color do you want. I never got a response to it. And so what I supposed to do? Hunt you back down for all of that information? Fuck out of here. Not on some items that cost almost $1,000. That's what y'all thought. That's what they think. That's how they want to do. That's how they want to operate. The problem is, for these women, for you women out here like that, here's what's going to happen. You're going to continue to be put in positions where you're going to have to give yourself for that experience. You're going to have to give yourself for that experience. Now, if you're okay with that, that's you. And that's a lot of women that's okay with that. But there's a lot of y'all who are living in the fantasy of it. When you see what these women getting, you see what they getting, but not willing to take what they had to give for it. And it's going to break you down. It's going to break you down in the future. But hey, do what y'all do. But again, this is Love Jones, man. This is a Diary of a Love Jones. This is my episode, man. It's one of those just it's gonna be one of these weekly things. I call it Diary of Love Jones. Because I am writing a book. And I'm gonna put it on ebook. I'm gonna put it in the e-format, but also I may do a hard copy. But it's gonna be the aspect that we're just gonna talk about. Again, Diary of Love Jones, Journal of Love Jones. It's just gonna be about my documentation of dating and romance. I'm your host, Sam Day, and this is Uncut Truth.